Today's recipe includes tomatoes, some celery from the freezer and garlic, 2 potatoes, half a cabbage, some butternut squash, some chicken stock, 8 cups, which uses 4 of these cubes, and then some little egg noodles and some tomato juice. And we're gonna call this the Pantry raid soup. So Shelly chopped up the celery, and now she is going to chop up the garlic just into little pieces. You can also use a garlic press if you have one, or you can mush it, do whatever you like. Really, just be careful not to cut yourself. As you cut stuff, you put it into this bowl so that we can combine all the ingredients. Next, we're going to cut up the butternut squash. We're actually only going to use half of the squash. It's very hard to cut, so be very careful. The top part is just straight butternut squash. The bottom part will have some seeds, so depending on how much or which parts you use, you might have to take out the seeds because they are not good in the soup. But so we're just cutting this, and then we are going to peel off the skin because the skin is not really edible. So again, because butternut squash is so hard, you want to be really careful. But this soup can really include whatever you like. We're just using what we had in our pantry and fridge. But let us know what ingredients you might have in your fridge and how it turned out. This soup is also vegetarian because we are only using vegetables. Okay, now that you peeled all the skin off, you're going to want to chop the butternut squash into little cubey pieces. And once that's all done, you're going to want to toss them all in the bowl. Then you'll grab your half of a cabbage and you'll just chop it up into strips or chunks or whatever size of whatever you want it to look or feel like. Just be careful of your fingers. Don't cut yourself. Now that you've got it pretty much all chopped up, you toss it into the bowl, and then you grab your potatoes, cut those into a similar size as the spaghetti squash. The potatoes will also help to thicken your soup because they are quite starchy, but they're delicious and they add filling and calories, and they're just good, and they absorb whatever flavor you really put them in. So once you have all these potatoes chopped up, you want to add them to your bowl of goodies. And then we have a pot on the stove that we've already added about 2 tablespoons of oil to, and we have it over medium heat. And then we are just going to add our vegetables to that pot. A last minute decision, we decided to add some tomatoes. So we're just cutting some grape tomatoes in half. You can also use regular tomatoes or canned tomatoes or frozen tomatoes, whatever you really like. You don't even have to use tomatoes if you don't like them, but we do, so we added them. That's what they look like when they're cut. And then we are just going to add them to the pot with the rest of the ingredients. Look at how colorful and beautiful that looks. That is just full of nutrients and vitamins and deliciousness. There's gonna be so many good flavors in there. So we're just stirring up the pot now. We let it sit on the pot with just the vegetables and the oil for about 2 minutes while stirring it so that it didn't burn to the bottom. And then we added our stock, which is about 8 cups of stock, which is 8 cups of water and 4 of those bouillon cubes, but you can use whatever stock you like. And then we just mix it up a little bit and then let it bring to a boil and then simmer for about 20 minutes. And then we added the noodles and half a can of tomato juice, which we forgot to film, but we added it and it was delicious. And we just let it cook for about 10 minutes longer so it could develop the flavors. And then we put it in a bowl and we ate it. So I hope you guys tried it as well and enjoy.